What's up, everybody out there? Steve Beck here for another podcast. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm going to go over this week in wrestling for the WWE. I'll be talking about Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night Live, Smackdown, and then, of course, we got NXT in the Cruiserweight Classic. Opening segment was great for Raw. Opening segment was shit for Smackdown. You have Stephanie and Mick Foley talking to each other in the backstage area. We have Daniel Bryan introducing all of the SmackDown women. We have you guys saying that it's going to be all about the talent, and you guys are starting our shows. So what is it? Is it all about the talent? Is it all about you starting our shows? What's the deal here? Mick Foley, before you picked Roman Reigns for Raw, you actually went over Stephanie's command. You said, I know you don't like this guy, but I like him, and I'm a fan of him, and I'm going to pick him. So, Roman Reigns is your guy, but you give Seth Rollins the championship match, but you don't give the championship match to Roman Reigns. So you tell Rollins, I've never really cared for you, but I know that you deserve this championship match. What? And then you have Roman Reigns go against Kevin Owens next week to see if he can get put in that match for a triple threat match. I don't get it. The worst part about it is, as much as I love Rollins, his supply of opportunity is endless. And they're just going to keep handing him every single title match that he has. He'll never earn it. And Roman Reigns is going to have to earn it. And Roman Reigns was actually hated on by the crowd because he was handed everything. He was handed the John Cena gimmick. And people hated him for it. So now that Rollins is handed every single thing that he's been given, we don't hate him. And that's just because he's talented. But it's still a weird thing to talk about, so I just had to add that. Who was the face? Who was the heel? Who cares? It's Chris Jericho versus Rollins. This is a great match. Shut up and watch. It was a great match. Ended up being a great match. Rollins got the win, and we move on in Raw. But I did want to point out that it was one of the best matches of the night. Not of the week, obviously, because you have the Cruiserweight Classic, but as far as mainstream shows go, it was definitely match of the week. But in the middle of the match, Michael Cole starts cheering for Y2J. So does the crowd. And Seth Rollins gets cheered by Corey Graves. He's never going to become a face if he's cheered by Corey Graves. I really didn't get any of this, but it was a great match. And did you see the pedigree he put on Chris Jericho at the end? Oh my goodness, that was one of the best pedigrees that Seth Rollins has ever done. It looked like Triple H's pedigree. He wasn't wiggling around like he did. He had both arms locked in, really strong like. Man, he should do the pedigree like that more often. I'm kind of happy that he got pedigreed last week to see how it is. It's great. Keep it up. So Byron Saxton says, I have never seen Seth Rollins. Of course he was cut off. Yes, he said, I've never seen Seth Rollins this enraged. But he was cut off by the worst commentator in the world, Michael Cole. And in the middle of the sentence, he got cut off at the point to where he said, I have never seen Seth Rollins. Byron Saxton, you're on Raw's commentator team. You've obviously seen Seth Rollins. You've actually had an interview with Seth Rollins back in the day. So you've clearly seen Seth Rollins. Don't let somebody interrupt you. Don't let Michael Cole interrupt you. You interrupt Michael Cole. You're way better than him. And it shows. So yeah, I pointed it out just because I'm an asshole. Was it just me, or did anybody else cringe whenever they heard about match 3 of the possible 7 for Sheamus versus Cesaro coming up next? I know I did, because it was definitely cringeworthy. It seems like they're kind of promoting the way that the Universe mode is done when you have a rivalry between two people on WWE 2K17. Every single week it's the same match, and we keep coming back for each and every one of them. It's 3-0, and sadly, I did want Cesaro to win, but now I just want Sheamus to end it all. Please, just end it. I don't want 3 more in a row by Cesaro, and I don't want 7 matches. So just get a clean sweep, and if not, go 4-1. Just don't do it anymore. Just end it. It's awful. It's horrible. The guys are great, but the matches just, they're getting old. So because it was Labor Day, I guess Enzo Amore had to give birth to be in labor. At least it wasn't a hand. But it was probably the best fake birth that's ever been done on WWE. Now, of course, I wrote this joke before Corey Graves and Byron had their little scuffle. Byron Saxton said, I believe that's the first birthing scene that we've ever seen on WWE, and thank God Corey Graves reminded him that Mark Henry had a baby with Mae Young that ended up being a hand. So that's why I'm saying Enzo Amore's giving birth on Raw was a lot better than any other birth that they've done. Because they've done it by giving birth to a hand. So I'm all for it. Just don't give birth anymore. Why is this a thing? Why is this even in a story? I know it's Labor Day, but it was just a cheap shot at the word labor. There's so many other things you could have played with the word labor. But you did that. Of course, it was a soft baby, and that soft baby had one thing in common with the Shining Stars, and that's that they are soft. There's only one word to describe the Shining Stars, and that's S-A-W-F-T, swapped. Now that we've gotten through that, I do want to say that I am super happy the Shining Stars beat Enzo and Big Cass. I'm a huge fan of Enzo and Big Cass, but them losing to the Shining Stars does not decrease their momentum at all. It actually does everything good for everybody. It was a cheap victory, and it wasn't going to make Enzo and Big Cass look belittled. It also made the Shining Stars a valid tag team finally, since they've done absolutely nothing since all those segments or all those vignettes that we had to watch. So I'm glad that the Shining Stars actually did beat Enzo and Big Cass, but I'm pretty sad that they beat them for the fact that that running man, that whoever it was, Epcot, what are their names? Chico, Primo, I don't know their names, but one of them was doing the running man and it was awful. It looked horrible. And the other one's doing the Bobby Shmurda dance and that looks even more awful. Please, if you guys beat anyone else, don't mock them by doing something that they do. It was awful. It was really bad. Yay! We can add one name to the list of scrub killers. That name is Bo Dallas. And yes, Bo Dallas has more wrestling knowledge, experience, and talent than both Nia Jax and Braun Strowman have combined. So I am all for Bo Dallas getting scrubs to kill. And if anything, I'd like them to continue doing that for him and stop doing it for Braun and Nia. Now, Braun Strowman did have a match with Sin Cara in which that match was awful, and I honestly don't even remember what happened. But I hope that Braun Strowman and Sin Cara isn't an actual match or a rivalry that will eventually have to unfold. Nia Jax as well went against Ann Esposito, who I have no idea, other than her being Alicia Fox's friend, who she is. But Ann Esposito was the first person to get some offense on Nia Jax, and she actually looked pretty good. Not looks-wise. I mean, she did look good, but I meant in the ring. Yeah, let's keep it in the ring. So yeah, Ann Esposito did get some offense on Nia Jax, but then she lost, just like everybody else. So it looks like they're trying to give them better competitors and give all the scrubs to Bo Dallas. But I'm all for Bo. So as much as I don't want to talk about Nia Jax, we are going to talk about Nia Jax and Alicia Fox having that little skit that they did in the backstage area. Oh man, I thought Alicia Fox was doing pretty good until she hit Nia Jax with the box. And then she's, are you okay? Ugh, just to get pushed by Nia Jax right after. So there's a picture of the word old fart as an acronym, and then you have the club in the background. I think Vince had his hands on this one because he loves making the club look like crap. First they're doctors, now they're retirement home guys. Here's a little list for you. Kofi Kingston is the oldest person in the New Day, and Kofi Kingston is 35 years old. Now Carl Anderson is the oldest person in the club for the WWE version of the club, and he's 36 years old, 1 year older than Kofi Kingston. So who should be going in the retirement home if we're really talking about that? Also, Luke Gallows, Doc Gallows, whatever you want to call him, Festus, he's 32. And guess how old Xavier Woods and Big E Langston are? 30. I'm 28. What the fuck am I doing with my life? The old day. Are you serious? The old day? Can somebody get this crap off my screen? I mean, everyone was so bored at this point. It was so awful. The only thing that this did was make me happy when the New Day came out, I guess. It wasn't even that good. It didn't make me like the New Day more. It just made me like them that they were getting this crap off my screen. Or at least I thought they were. No, instead they said that they couldn't touch tips which is a penis joke that's from Sausage Party. So I don't know what they're promoting, if they're promoting penises or sausage parties. Either way, it's not a good thing. God. But they said they couldn't touch tips because the universe would blow up or it'd explode. But then, they touched them later. So why did you even say that, Kofi? Who wrote that? I hope it wasn't you. I know it wasn't you. Oh my god, all this is awful though. Old Day. Get off my screen. There's not been anything as bad as Old Day. I take that back. Sonny Boy. I do want to say that this was the best Raw that I have seen since the split, and it was the most consistent filler episode that I have seen yet. Even though nothing really progressed story-wise with anybody, it was a really good, entertaining show. And you have to admit that that main event was amazing. So like I said, SmackDown Live starts with Daniel Bryan introducing all of the women in SmackDown that are going to be in the six-pack challenge. This was all over the place. Yeah, Becky Lynch came out first, but then one after another, they all came out and they all said the same thing. And it was really stupid. So SmackDown had a little bit of bad and good in there. Shane McMahon totally messed up when he was trying to describe the 6 women's tag match. He randomly just said 6 women's championship out of nowhere. I don't even remember what he said, but he definitely botched. We didn't get that many matches on SmackDown, and the one that we did get was an awesome match, and that's The Miz vs. Apollo Crews. Yeah, we saw it at SummerSlam, and it's the same old crap that we get every single week. But this match was really good. The worst part about it was Dolph Ziggler was ringside on commentary team, and he would not shut up. When you talk, you know you have to do the Dolph Ziggler talk. When you go out there and you give it your hardest heart and you put it in the work and you go out there and you show them that you can do a match, and that's because I'm Dolph Ziggler. There's actually a second that he said, I'm glad I don't have a script out here like you guys. He just says out of nowhere that they have scripts on them. What is wrong with you, Dolph? The heck? So that basically wraps up SmackDown. And wrapping up SmackDown, we did have AJ Styles, who did have a pretty good promo in the middle of the ring with Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose tried to hand him a bowling trophy and said, we don't give out trophies for the face that comes in second place. And it ended up with a nut shot from AJ Styles to Dean Ambrose for payback for last week. So SmackDown's only 2 hours like it normally is, but when you have Talking Smack added to it, it's actually a 3-hour show with a lot of promos at the end. We have your usual host, Renee Young and Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack, but we also have them joined by Shane McMahon. Don't care, I'm Shane McMahon. I got kids, 3 boys. Woo! He goes, yeah, that's right. This just in. Chad Gable is actually going to be out on a sprained MCL for 2 to 4 weeks. Now this injury is just a joke. It's a way to get the Usos, maybe the championship. Oos, come on, Oos! Come on, Oos! Dang, Oos! So here's how I would do it if I was Daniel Bryan. Thank God that I'm not. If I was the general manager of SmackDown, or if I was the commissioner of SmackDown, here's how I would do things for this tag team tournament. So the Usos, you will not be rewarded for the fact that you lost in 30 seconds, and after you lost, you couldn't contain yourself and you had to attack American Alpha. Well, taking Heath Slater, Rhyno, the American Alpha, and the Usos out of the picture, you have all these tag teams left that are really, really good tag teams. So what I am going to do as general manager of SmackDown is I'm going to have a battle royal on the pre-show of Backlash. That battle royal is going to contain every single tag team other than the 3 that I had listed earlier. Those teams will be facing in that battle royal, and the last man standing who did not get thrown over the ropes, he and his team will advance to the finals and take Heath Slater and Rhyno for the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Now I don't want to leave out American Alpha. American Alpha, you made it to the finals, and if it wasn't for the Usos, you'd still be in the finals. So when you are fully recovered, we're going to have Jason Jordan and Chad Gable compete against whoever the tag team champions may come out to be that night. I felt like that last SmackDown was just horrible for a go-home show to something for Backlash. So, yeah, trash-lash it is. This has been Steve Beck. Thank you for watching my podcast. Peace. I'm out.